I don't know that that was really necessary, but I did it anyway. He's not going to let me play the tape on it real quick. Sorry, man. I can't be giving up freebies. Never have, won't now. Did I? I guess I did. Can I get a discount on this boombox? A police discount. A discount. I do have to keep the lights on, man. It's 12 real. Remember, he doesn't like music. He likes sounds. The Door Gunner Mega Mix is his kind of tape. Certainly he'd give you a discount if he knew you'd play something so experimental. Careful. You can only do this once. Reaction speed. Okay. So I guess it's conceptual. The conceptualization role is probably what lets me mention what it is that I'm playing. I'm gonna try it. Purses his lips. 4 real is offensively low, but just this once for the musique concrete cop. Here you go. Quality sound reproduction on the go. It'll play everything, anything, wherever. Turn any tape into a conversation of shapes and sounds. Let's do it. Oops. Where did they go? Oh, there they are. The porta reel is just what you needed. The reel is attached to the apparatus with a satisfying click. The tape is routed behind the magnetic reader. Jeez. Push commencer, and the tape starts spinning. Violent static and machine sounds fill the air. This isn't Revachol, a man's voice says. This is a fucking village. I can almost see the elephants. Another loud screech, some kind of machinery. The harbor. That's the sound of a Kvalsund crane. He's right. When this shit is done, I'm gonna tear that place up. Soldier of the Apocalypse style. Kill shit. Dogs and chickens, too. Gonna rent a room, Cordy. A real nice one. This part is unintelligible. I don't give a shit. I'm fucking done. I'm done mentally. I'll fucking do them all in. Rape that. On the counter. The dancer whore. Do it Kohoi style. Never did get that taste out of my mouth. A click and then silence. What do you... Who's this Cordy? One of the other mercenaries, I think. The one he was talking to. A friend of his? What was that at the very end? Silence? End of recording. Seemed authentic enough. Probably recorded off their shortwave, then edited to seem more incriminating. He sounded like he was on patrol around the harbor walls. So is she not being forthcoming entirely, or or did something happen? Right? Whoever he was talking to. It could have been that right here, like they switched from the actual recording to like you see what a shift this is. He's not saying anything bad here, and then it flips over and then goes, "Oh, I'm fucking done. I'm gonna kill everybody." Oh, I would benefit a lot from knowing French. He also sounded inebriated. Still. It's his look of suspicion. There's more going on here. What's Kohoi? A village on the Samaran Isola in South Safar. Grad committed war crimes there. The kind of thing he talks about. You think he was there? Who knows? Maybe the tattoos would have an answer. Or maybe Kohoi is just merc talk for atrocity. Slaughter. I think we've got a few more questions for Classier. This seems to contradict her testimony, at least to some degree. The contrast feels chilly. Going back to the unts. Boy, oh boy. Let me, I guess, as long as I'm here.
Hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
Should I... I'm not gonna need this fuel canister. It sells for... maybe I will. Maybe I'll find a chainsaw, and I'll need fuel for the chainsaw. Reasonable. I probably don't need this anymore. Well, just in case. Oh no, it's happening. I'm hanging on to everything just in case. Also, how am I going to get more money? Like, here's a couple of postcards I can sell. This postcard depicts a forest of smokestacks releasing fat plumes of smoke into the blue, cloudless sky. The tinge of age, the color of old teeth, gives it a sickly look. Written on the back is a single sentence, repeated twice. I got out. I got out. No addressee. This crumpled up postcard depicts an open-air market in Boogie Street 5 years ago. A vendor smiles as dead roosters line his stalls, hung by their feet from canopy. Red blood flows onto the muddy street. Blurry shadows of people pass. Oops. Alright, so I could run directly over to her and interview her again. What was my other... No, I want to go to the yacht. To the yachtmobile. After I go in the bookstore. Because I want to read this thing about the pail again. Now that I know what that is. I would have to buy it? I can't read it again? I flipped through it before. I already flipped through it. I don't need to read it again. I don't think. I don't know. Or wait, if I look through... Let me try this again. Books are these? No browsing that shelf. That wisdom is not for free. Now to the yachtmobile. I just remembered. I equip a bag, right? Oh, I guess garbage cans don't refill in this world. Oh. That's fun. Guess that must have just... wasn't wearing a pry bar last time I walked by it.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
About my missing badge again. You never guess what? I found my badge. Did you? Wonderful. She inspects the piece of blue plastic, the faded green pearls of her eyes scanning left to right, quickly, methodically, like an electric printing machine. She hands it back to you. It is a relief to see a double Yfrater here. The situation is precarious, to say the least. It needs a quick solution, or we will have a bloodbath on our hands. Contain the situation? I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil war, with possible consequences for all of Revachol West. Since you're sharing, ma'am, this is also the RCM's worst-case scenario. Then we're on the same page, as grim as it may be. How are the lynching and the strike connected? I have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor as an insurance measure. They called it my security detail. A momentary lapse of faith. They were dispatched after I relayed the union's initial offer. Every worker, a member of the board, she nods. I tried to convince my employer it was simply a piece of rhetoric, or a joke. They did not appreciate the humor. Do you need a security detail? Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple. They are meant to intimidate the Union into surrendering. Who are they exactly? Krenel, which I knew. An Orangese military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinez. They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. To be frank, our relationship is deteriorating. They wear ceramic armor, have semi-automatic weapons, and years of combat experience. They also have trauma and stressor disorder, and no idea how to conduct themselves in an urban civilian environment. So what happened? The story is, one of them, the colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant Union members to subdue him. He was taken out behind the Whirling-in-Rags and lynched last Sunday night. What then? Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbor. I have not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. The remaining 2 Krenel contractors carry out their orders, for now. For now. It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military tribunal into the lynching. Once this investigation is concluded, executions will follow. What is the nature of this so-called investigation? Whether to execute one, some, or all of the Union militants. I have to say, this is not disco. It is very far from disco. A wave crashes against the side of her boat. My only hope is that you provide a single concrete suspect before the mercenaries indiscriminately pick theirs. Simply put, if you don't pin this on someone good and do it fast, they will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This, in turn, will force the Union to respond. The debaucheurs will have over 2,000 men. It will be 1,000 to 1. Have you ever seen a hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant? It's not pretty. The Surrey's giant hornet, the world's 2nd largest insect, can kill 40 honeybees a minute, while a group of 30 can decimate an entire hive of 20,000 bees in less than 4 hours. These men work in tandem using semi- and fully automatic firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons, even yours. Most Union workers don't have guns at all. The muzzle-loaders need to be reloaded after every 1 or 2 shots. The automatics, 1 or 2 minutes. She is silent for a moment, then concludes, as I said, a bloodbath. So, that makes me think that there's a time component to the game. Today's Wednesday. I wonder if when you get around to, like, Sunday, if they go, okay, we're done investigating, time to execute people, and then, like, it's just a game over because it turns into a civil war. Although, I also am prepared for the game to take me on whatever wild ride it wishes to, so that may not be the case either. Isn't this a pretty bleak scenario you're describing? Many bleak scenarios have already come true, Lieutenant W. Freitor Dubois. All we can do is keep the rest from going the same way. One single concrete suspect delivered into civil court, and I may be able to defuse this situation. So, if we're pretty sure that he was shot before he was hanged, then it's not okay. All 8 of the Hardy Boys are all guilty. It's one person shot him, and that's who we're trying to find out. How much time do we have left? Don't know. Depends on their progress identifying the members of the lynch mob and their impatience. They don't report their progress to you? Not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this a personal initiative. There's a brief silence. Seagulls squawk over the bay. It's a matter of days, not weeks. What can you tell me about Krenel? Not much. Their public resume is relatively good as far as private military contractors go. I believe they were once called Downwell. I already knew this. They boast a long list of clients. St. Baptiste, Welshman Lawrence, Eindracht. A warning sign, however. The operations concerned all take place in third or fourth world countries, guarding facilities, escort missions, and such. Meaning they're used to operating in war zones. Yes, all the good conflict corridors, Supermundi, Yisut, the Semines Islands, countries that don't have a good record reporting atrocious military conduct on their soil. Anything else? Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now that I do, I don't have the resources. If you still have access to ICP's database, you could run a better background check than I ever could. It may take some time, though. Do you know a lot about the inner workings of the RCM and the ICP, ma'am? In my line of work, it pays to do your research. I was prepared to deal with the RCM. I did not think I would be dealing with a group like Krenel. Could you contact the company? Tell them to call them off. I have, and they will. However, these orders take time to reach what is basically a rogue unit out in the field here. Until they do, it's all on us. She's being truthful. She's pressing them as hard as she can. You said the deceased assaulted a woman. Or he didn't. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the canal. I cannot testify by it. Who did the passing on, then? The remaining contractors. Their tribunal. It's what they believe. That the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman. I've asked around a bit. This seems to be the accepted story around Martinez. This does not come as news to us, but still, to your knowledge, where did this assault take place, if you know? Last Sunday night at the Whirling-in-Rags, the hostel by the gates. Supposedly the colonel was drunk, maybe on narcotics too. Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometime later, a group of dock workers got their hands on him. And who was this woman? That's a good question, officer. I don't have the slightest. As I said, it's a rumor about a rumor. In any case, it's what the colonel's remaining colleagues believe. Where are the 2 remaining mercs? They've gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out. For one, they're almost certainly armed to the teeth. They don't have the same respect for the Revachol Citizens Militia as I do. To put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes, ghetto savages. It will not be a fruitful meeting. Still need to know where they are. You're likely to run into them eventually. When that happens, I'll be in a better position to mediate if I don't appear involved. So I don't think this is me asking her. I think this is me figuring out. Okay, sent by the Pines, scab leader, murder. Scab leader, murder. Oh, okay. The guy leading the scabs had a weird reply. Didn't pass background check. I don't know what that means, but I'm gonna roll because we'll win. Oh my god, I rolled a 3. One is obviously the scab leader at the harbor gates, the one chanting the idiotic slogans. He's barely maintaining his disguise. I'll tell her I know. That may be so. I still hope you heed my advice. There's no need to kick the hornet's nest. For all your talk of averting this catastrophe, the situation at the gates is a powder keg. Does this not bother you? Of course it bothers me, Lieutenant, but my hands are tied. How would my employer react if it appeared I were intervening on behalf of the Union? Your concern may be appearances. Ours is keeping the peace. Did you know the Colonel? If you mean did I see him alive, yes, but I did not know him. You don't know how you know. It's not written on her face, nor in her voice, but she had sympathy for this man. You liked him. Liked is a bit strong. He was the most charismatic among them. He handled all the talking. His departure left a gap in the group's communication skills. His name was Lely. His service name ain't nom de guerre, most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them did. A bad sign if there ever was one. Tell me about the others first. One is a man. Cordy. There we go. Everything's coming together. I'm afraid. I don't want this game to end. One is a man. Cordy, they call him. A nickname as well. The other, a woman. Phyllis DePaul. Cordy is the gunner, I believe. DePaul is a radio operator. Don't know. What would you say his eye color... Or, what would you say was his eye color, the deceased's? She closes her eyes, trying to picture the man's face, then shakes her head. I can't remember. Anything else? His nationality? What would you say was his age? He was 40 or 50. It's hard to say which. He had a combat injury on his lower jaw. It made it difficult to estimate his age or gauge his facial expressions. Indeed, this matches the dental reconstruction we saw on the body. Turns to you and he says to you, then turns back to Joyce. What else? Nationality? Accent? He was Occidental, I think. Light brown hair? A mixed accent? Orangese or Messenian, maybe? His injury gave him an accent all his own. In a way, it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak through it, through the injury. That's all I know. That's all I know, I guess. I only met him once. It's enough for now. Now can you tell me about these tattoos? I forget why she hesitated before. She reaches over the guard wire, takes the photo, holds it in her hand for about half a minute in silence. She wears fingerless gloves. Her fingernails are cut short and fractured, like those of a working woman. It was taken with a trigat not long ago. This is the man's upper body. There were no more markings on his hands or legs. Her mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near her mouth vanish. The pearls of her eyes move slowly on the photo's surface. She has no excess of emotions for this cadaver. Has she seen dead bodies before? It's likely. Sorry, I was trying to see if I can read the web of interdependencies between these points, the stars. I can't. But that's how you read this story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, anything. Their size, location on the body, and distance from each other tells you what they represent. Like blooms in a pattern? Close. Port cities. This is an Orangese map of the waterways, a sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers of the Doloran century over 300 years ago. The sailors would mark their bodies to map their travels. Really? Huh. Of what use is this map? The sailor's soul would use it to fly back home if they should die abroad. This is a sort of contraption to be reeled back in by. The silver cord, they would call it. It's very, very, very interesting. given the weird pale stuff. Who knows how death and souls and whatnot work in this world? What travels did the dead man make? Quite a few. Redfort, the Orangese capital, traditionally stands on the right shoulder. He started somewhere near here, I think. What next? Then he made his way to Prato Grande through what I think must be Stadskanal, an artificial channel through the Occident. From the Prato, he sailed to the Insulindic Ocean. First the Semines Islands, then this. She points to his heart. Revachol. Those are the two constants. Vredefort on the shoulder and Revachol in the heart. They started the tradition of these maps right after the discovery of Insulinde, in the dawn of the inter-isolary age. The old world passing by and the new world already here. You said you can't read it. I can't. This man was no sailor, and these are no ports. I can understand geographic fragments, but not their meaning. Okay, not their meaning, I guess. All right. Who could tell me more? The platoon members? The other contractors, though I do not suggest you go and show them that picture. This man was their friend and comrade. It could go this or the other way. Maybe if you're tactful, it could be beneficial. Surely there are other people to ask about the tattoo. This is not necessary to complete the task, officer. It is a dangerous side task. Search elsewhere. Hmm. Need the information. Do what you have to do, Detective Dubois. I don't think deciphering that tattoo should come before public security. But if you should wade into the mob to find out, I couldn't stop you. We will be careful, ma'am. Talk more about the lynch. Oh, we got everything there. More questions about reality. Can I re-roll this? I can. 6 kilometers southwest in the Valley of Dogs, Junior Officer Chad Tilbrook takes aim at a rabid black dog, licking its wounds in the grass. To his left, his partner Emil Mullins whispers, "You heard what happened to Tequila Sunset and Martin Ace?" "Yes, he lost his mind," Tilbrook answers, finger on the trigger. "Don't worry, Emil." Emile? Emil. He pulls on it slowly now. He'll find it again. We always do. What am I? You? You are an officer of the RCM, she says energetically. The Revachol Citizens Militia? Preciso mundo? Preciso mundo. And what is that? Nothing more nor less than the de facto law enforcement body of post-revolutionary Revachol, Detective. Yes. The lieutenant steps in to make a gesture encompassing you both. We are the Revachol Citizens Militia. You said de facto? Yes, that means not de jure. The RCM acts in what is poetically called the twilight of international law, both at the behest of the coalition government and to its chagrin. What do you mean? The RCM's responsibilities are defined by the Emergency, Wayfarer, and Ailment Acts, 3 pieces of legislation keeping the city in a, let's be honest, laissez-faire status to the benefit of foreign capital. All 3 are good to know when we're out policing. Laissez-faire status. So basically, I'm one of the good guys. There's nothing basic about your role, Detective. It's true that the RCM keeps everything the way our seemingly permanent provisional rulers like it. She leans in. Yet, on the other hand, I know these people. I deal with them daily. Let me tell you, dear, they're not fans of you. Why? The post-revolutionary decade was a disaster for the coalition government. Revachol in the 20s was hell, especially on the west side of the river. Gang warfare, a botched privatization scheme, a nuclear pile meltdown. They called it the International Zone because no nation wanted to claim responsibility. The RCM restored peace where the Coalition failed. A true blue citizens' initiative, she smiles. They will never forgive you. That's somewhat of an exaggeration, the lieutenant interjects. In reality, ours is a mutually beneficial arrangement. Revacholians get to keep the peace in Revachol, and the Coalition doesn't have to worry about it. Anyway, sorry to intrude. Please continue. Yes, Lieutenant. Permit me to conclude with this. Who you are, to me, is the police, the only legitimate law enforcement authority in Revachol. And if those authorities drink so hard they help... Oh, that's me. And if those authorities drink so hard they need help recalling the basic terms of reality, well, I am here to help. As you turn, a bright light catches your eye, making you squint. Where is it coming from? From a distant sunset? A stage light? Flash photography? Nowhere in particular? It's just what superstar law officers do. They squint at lights, and they solve shit. Actually, now that I hear superstar and law official in a sentence, they sound weird together. What are you, deaf? They're perfect, like rock star politician and drug addict teacher. Embrace the superstardom you've worked so hard to establish. I guess there's no harm in saying yes to it. It's just going to unlock a thing that I might never use. You're a big dick cop. Dick Mullins. Salam Rocky Bye. Badass on the edge disco cop. Time to recede into a ludicrous fantasy world. Here we go. Lights, camera. Wait, what's that about a ludicrous fantasy world? Yeah, you know, beneath it is just... yeah. You know, beneath it is just heartbreak, a pulmonary tract infection, arthrosclerotic disease. This is where you say action and reconceptualize all that. Reinvent it as the world's first celebrity police officer. This is the beginning of your legend. Fuck it. Action! With a sudden flash, the world freezes around you, and you along with it. In an iconic monochrome solution, a black silhouette against a rasterized orange world. It's on. -2 to logic while thinking about this. Still seems unlikely. Let's make this absolutely clear. No one is saying you're an actual superstar in the groupies and cocaine, riddles with hepatitis C, strikes a lion-esque pose with a mic kind of way. You're not Guillaume de Million or Davy Dewis. No, you're a metaphorical superstar. You bring that rock and roll authenticity and passion to a line of work where people don't expect or want to see it. Where some would say it doesn't belong. Law enforcement. Nah, not me. Not this playthrough. Second playthrough? Yes. Genius Streamer only sounds like a good pairing when you're in my stream. Jamrock Shuffle is the one that let me loot containers better. It's kind of minor. One of these is well, here's the other thing. I have to remember this too. I keep going like, oh, there's certain things that I should just like, if I need to forget one of these, I should without a thought. This one specifically gave me a +12 on the roll that let her explain the pail and everything. Other of these might have similar things where I'll go up to roll something and it'll be like, yeah, you have like a crazy plus bonus because of something that you have. Because it's like one of them... Not that one. Yeah, this one, I hadn't planned on doing any speed, and my perception cap is already a 5, so this is literally nothing whatsoever. Alright, I still have to interview the guy in the apartments, but first we are going to go up to... Can I cut through here? Is the thing? Oh, this brings me behind the place. It's not helpful, right? Yeah, no, it's not helpful. Also, did I ever look at this? Chink? No. Ordinary wall. Still. Alright, we're gonna go upstairs. We're gonna talk to Classy and go, what was actually going on? Because I wasn't expecting her to lie to me, of course, because my senses are fooling me into thinking I can trust her.
I was just thinking, what a nice day for questions pertaining to a murder investigation.
Talk more about this assault. Wait. Gave us a recording where the deceased states his intention to commit rape. She puts her coffee cup down with a soft ring as the porcelain meets the metal table. This does not surprise her. Did he? I never said he was a good man, or that he had good intentions, only that he was never bad to me. On this tape, he specifically identifies you as the target. Where did they get this recording exactly? It's intercepted radio chatter of the deceased, recorded via a de-encryption station. It's authentic enough. She arches her brow. Does he say he's going to do it Soldier of the Apocalypse style? Those are the exact words he used. Yeah, that was practically his pickup line. Did he say whores a lot? Was he pretty much on the verge of doing it Kohoi style? Kohoi was mentioned. He wasn't actually there. He didn't do a tour. Or at least he didn't tell me he did. Would have been overkill anyway. He lived his own little Kohoi. It was in his everything. Why say things like that? Machismo? Oh no, I'm pretty sure he did all those things, then integrated them into his idea of normalcy to keep on living until they just sort of turned into his... What's the word I'm looking for? Persona? Running joke. I was going to say running joke, and it sounds like you didn't even get the good bits. Lily's punchlines got way, way funkier than that. He was like the Seminoles conflict, the Kohoi massacre, and the 36 famine in Yisut, all rolled into one person, then cast into Oren Yi's ceramic armor, which he wore in bed and in the shower. And when he said he was done and done mentally, it didn't sound like a joke. It sounded like a deeply troubled man. He said he was mentally done. Well, maybe I pieced him back together with my magical personality. Weren't you afraid? Afraid of what? The tape the Hardy Boys recorded? Your mother probably never told you this, but girls are evil. Had I the physical robustness and social support, I'd be in Kohoi. I would be tearing it up, Soldier of the Apocalypse style. Did he tell you he had actually done any of those things? Here in Martinez, I mean? No. We were too busy laying waste our own nervous systems to direct any of the fury outward. He seemed happy, I guess, at ease, as much as a man like him could be. Thank you for clearing that up, miss. Whenever you're ready. I'm interested to hear what Titus Hardy has to say now. So this is a very straightforward back and forth between... Okay, he says this, she says that, he says this, she says that. I mean, I could be going and doing other things in the meantime, sure. But I guess let's bang it out and get this as resolved as we can. And then it's karaoke time. There's something else I was supposed to... Oh, I gotta look for her husband over on the... Yeah, maybe after this, before karaoke, we'll go explore the second section of the map for a while.
The clowns are still hanging around. What is it now?
Yeah, I don't know if... I'm not gonna tell him about the war. The war that's coming. Talk to her about the tape, and tenses immediately. Chest tightens, jaw sets, ready for another blow. And nothing. She stands by what she said. Fucking fucker. You're the worst cops in Revachol. I gave you gold on that tape. It was dark stuff, but it didn't prove anything, and it didn't change her mind. Dark? Dark is when you start a goddamn death rock band. He said he'd rape her. What did she have to say then? Fine by her? This is what people are supposed to be like? Fucking whoop-de-doo. She did not say whoop-de-doo. This is the truth. Did not come as a surprise to her, and she definitely wasn't scared. Yes, in fact, the lieutenant looks at you, and then at him. I think she thought it was a little funny. Funny. No good goddamn psycho whore. Alright. All fucking righty then. I guess it's all good then. Fuck Titus. Try to control yourself in the presence of visitors. Her voice is a bit softer than earlier. Titus rubs his chin with his palm as if trying to grind it smooth. It's just perfect. Just fucking perfect. Any thoughts on this, lawman? Maybe she isn't who you thought she was. Nah, I know her. She's just a girl in over her head. It's a pretty hardcore party with a bigger death wish than mine. I can tell him that she's got my skill set compromised. In fact, I will. Kind of pro. You're saying she's a hooker? He forces himself to pick up the beer and take a gulp. No, he's not saying that. Forget about it. Pretty hardcore party girl with a bigger death wish than mine. She takes way too many drugs. Well, it's as they say, you can't do anything with an underdose, the Mesk says with a philosophical look in his eyes. Be straight with me. What really happened? I already told you. We fucking hanged him. There's less gusto in his voice now. His men too are growing increasingly silent. They're confused. This is growing over their heads? Come on, Titus. We know you didn't hang him. He was shot. I know you're tired. So am I. Why don't you just... You know what? I am tired. Tired of you and the whore upstairs. Next time you see her, tell her Titus said fuck off. That lying... We're done. This is over, you understand? Your little investigation is over. Yeah. There's a silence in the room. Elaine starts saying something, then thinks best not to. On the floor, beer drips out of a can into a small puddle. No one does anything about it. What is this quiet funeral shit? What we need is some beers in us. Bartender, 20 beers for the Dock Workers Union. Why don't we make it 40, huh? The man shouts from behind the counter. Why don't we make it 100 beers? You're not loud enough. 100 beers? Now we're talking. Hippy, hop over here, cafeteria manager. Ooh. Who is Angus? Whoever. Right. Okay, the large man. So this is. I'll come back ready to rhetoric. I could also say this and rattle him even more. The merc you hanged, his friends are coming for you. No. No, let's just... I can make this roll. Suit up. Rhetoric okay, so no bum hat. I don't think I actually have anything that gives plus rhetoric. Nope.
It's you again. What is it?
Ah! Classy is playing them like a fiddle. Tell them how bad they got played and they'll tell you the truth. There are many ways to go about it. All of them really good. Oh my god, I almost have to. How could anyone fail 2 of these rolls in the same playthrough? No one's ever seen this before. That is absolutely not going to happen. Gun me, Kim. Don't talk, just gun me. But I didn't say. Oh, this is fantastic. This man is my favorite right now. ... Don't talk, just gun me. But I didn't say anything. Why are they whispering, Titus? I can't hear anything. I don't know. Some kind of bitch fight, I think. He snaps his finger at you. Hey, bitches. No fighting in the union booth. Talk or walk. So you put the gun in your mouth for the other guy, couldn't even get it in your hand for me? This is bullshit. We'll never convince them without a gun, says my sense of rhetoric. Wow, I can't believe that they put, like, they actually thought of that. Like, what if you fail the authority roll and pick the put a gun in your mouth option and then fail the rhetoric roll too? So you put the gun in your mouth for the other guy. Okay, so that's gonna blow the case wide open. If that happens, my next skill point will be spent on that. In the meantime, I'll definitely go up a level from singing karaoke once it's karaoke time. Until then, let's go to the second area. I guess the game is split up into 3 areas. That's what the map kind of says. I don't know if there's going to be something that's going to stop me from going to the 3rd portion of the map, right? Like, this early. Where are we going? What is this? Give me that. Cinder blocks. Charred. Makeshift fire pit with magazines for lighting. Bench and worn wooden planks of the bench do not look overly comforting. We can sit on benches after we've solved the murder. Let's go. Ah, it's another sitting bench. Very well. Bushes are too thorny and thick to pass through. Oh, good. Oh no, magnesium's the wrong one! I really, really need... in fact, I may even go buy some, just in case I get hurt or something. Kingdom of... Wait, what? Isn't that one of these things? Oh, more or less dialogue options heal plus one more out. So that will happen even more so? Like, I'll heal 2 morale? This is way too much morale healing. Tailored trousers in light brown, moderate in every aspect. They're absolutely unremarkable. In other words, perfect. See dust-covered linens, dried tulips on a bed. White curtains have been drawn shut, no looking in, and I got my skill point, just from examining things. Good. Wetting stone, well worn and covered in rust. Construction material. Whoever planned to build this house left in a hurry.
Hey, tequila!
You doing alright there? Idiot Doom Spiral, a tequila. A 30-something man clad in a two-piece lycra tracksuit puts down his pilsner and extends his hand in greeting.
Good to see ya. How's business? How's the old reality situation treating ya? So what's happening?
He wipes his hand on his dirty lycra pants and picks up his beer. Tequila?
Yeah, Tequila Sunset. How are the, high-concept, reality-based adventures proceeding?
That's the thing that's orange and smells like vodka or whatever it was. My real name is Tequila Sunset. I have re-entered reality to conquer it, to bend it to my will. I am
That's
the law.
the spirit. I used to shape reality into my image a long time ago, but these days are over now. Sadly, things ain't going that well in Idiot Doom Spiral lands. Haven't found those keys yet, haven't won that great piece of arse back. No word from my business buddies.
Idiot Doom Spiral, huh? This is bound to be a good high-concept conversation. At last. What is a Tequila Sunset? You keep saying it. It's you, your Tequila Sunset. We've met before, don't you remember? Nope, you sure don't. Maybe. You look like you want to know how Tequila Sunset came to be. You look like you want to hear the tale. Go ahead. Let me take a sip to moisten up my cords. Me too. Tequila Sunset rolled into Martinez last Friday, and by Tequila Sunset, I mean you, the man, the myth. We meet on Friday? Let's not jump ahead of ourselves. This is your story. Stop interrupting. You got here on Friday to solve a case, hoping to be the early bird who gets the worm. And by the worm, I mean the buzz. Because as far as I know, all you did was get pissed drunk. Word on the street is you went around the local hostel telling people you're a police officer and that it would be really fucked up if you shot yourself in the head right in front of them. That's pretty high concept if you ask me. It is. Lieutenant's brow is furrowed. Not the first time this comes up. Hey man, I'm not judging. This life's a valley of woes. Some of the highest concept people in history have killed themselves and been drunks. Either way, it was a late Saturday night when we, the Union of Moribund Alcoholics, got our drink on. Nothing remarkable about this. We get our drink on 24/7. Makes everything warm and glowy. I trust you know the feeling. One moment we hear the sound of a motor carriage revving up somewhere on the plaza, followed by a series of dings and bangs. Remember the sound of wood cracking? The billboard. Naturally, loud noises pique the interest of anybody owning a pair of ears. That's just the reality we're in. Naturally. Anyway, there was a brief silence, a gasp of silence, if you will, followed by a real commotion. We heard the carriage careening toward the coast at top speed. Sounded like someone jumped the canal, grabbed their brewskis, and rushed to the jetty. Never underestimate the speed of an alcoholic. What we saw was a sight to behold, a beat-up police carriage containing you, right there on the beach. You revved the engine and screamed at the top of your lungs, "The time hath come!" So naturally, being the curious cat I am, I asked what time hath come, and to which you replied, "The time hath come for tequila sunset, the end of all things." Oh God, what happened next? Your reality contracted. You jammed the pedal, plowed right off the jetty and through the ice. The muscles in your right leg tense up. We ran toward the ice, whilst you crawled your way out, miraculously unhurt, covered in seaweed and shit, like some kind of sea monster. When we finally got there, you were sitting on the beach crying. You said that your badge and uniform were in the car. It was too late to get in there, though. The carriage had sunk too deep. Recognizing a brother in need, we offered our condolences and invited you to party with us, which you naturally agreed to. We asked about the whole tequila sunset thing. You told us it was your name now, and insisted we all call you that from now on. So is Tequila Sunset a name or an event? I'm not sure. I think you were the event, Tequila Sunset. You know, as opposed to a tequila sunrise, which is long gone. How long did we party for? Hours. It was an all-night drink-a-thon. Then at some point, I think it was Sunday morning, you got belligerent and wanted to talk about Revacholian women. How they're beautiful and also whores and so on. How one of them's fucked you real bad. After a short while, you crossed the event horizon, looked sullen, got up, and left without saying anything. Wow, that's quite a story. Yeah, I bet Tequila's a fucking legend around the precinct. You must be proud to work with him. If only you knew. Anything specific about this person that fucked me? You were pretty vague about it, but you kept saying you got fucked real hard, and that we've all been fucked too. Rosemary chimes in, "No one's fucked me. I do the fucking around here." Abigail. It seemed pretty painful, to be honest with you. If I had to guess, I'd say you're still working through some shit. Did I mention losing anything else? Besides your gun and your badge? Said something about your hope or heart or something. To be honest, the details are a little hazy. In retrospect, I guess you lost your motor carriage, too. That's a big one. We talk about politics. Not really. You talked a lot about some sad churches and how everyone's just out to fuck you. Did you get a read on what kind of cop I was? You kept calling yourself a goddamn superstar who cleared 501 cases. As you already determined, the actual number is just over 200, but what's a little embellishment between friends? No thanks to the squares of the precinct, as you put it. It's a hard thing for a man to confront his past. That's why I avoid mine at all costs. What do you guys do around here? We're saving the world. Please don't call. Don't call. Okay, we're drinking. We're drinking alcohol, that's what we're doing. I tried to save the world once, a long time ago, with enterprise, creativity, and willpower, but that didn't work out. So now it's a pirate's life for me. I wonder if this guy... I have a feeling he might be the guy who was working on the tabletop RPG. Let's find out. Whoop-dee-doo. I'm a fucking storyteller. Well, why not? Better than the beach bum. How did you become idiot doom spiral? Depends, really. You willing to help me out? You might get scammed here. What do you need? Booze. Did you already forget our party? The thing I relayed to you earlier? You got anything? I'll give him the Commodore Red. Classy. Spiral Boy, you gonna share some of that? Don't call Abigail. Shut up, guys. I'm telling a story here. Something happened to you. Something happened to me, too. My actual name is George, but around here, you already know. I was once a reasonably high net worth individual, a founder/junior partner of a high-concept creative services agency called He10 is Correct. When my story begins, I had just landed a major contract with an insurance firm. What? I used the profits from my agency to finance what I called a cultural incubator, abstract value generation, value per person, high concept stuff. I developed the paradigm, worked within the paradigm, but the burden of leadership weighed heavily on me, so I went jogging every so often to keep myself sane. How many people did you have working for you? 22 full-time employees, an all-star team, potentially historical set of individuals. Worrying about them often kept me up well into the morning hours. Did the jogging help? It did. With my trusty sans-serif tracksuit, I felt like I could conquer the world. But now dreams are worn thin. Much like my tracksuit. What happened? One day I left on my evening run. As you may know, it's impossible to clear your head when you're distracted by the sound of keys jangling in your pockets. He shakes the bottle and makes a ringing sound. His eyes are clouded, his dilated blood vessels encircling his irises like stinging brambles. His eyes are your eyes. So I removed the key ring and put the keys for the front gate and the apartment into different pockets to stop the jangling, you see. At least that was the plan. I was halfway done with my usual lap when it started to rain. The reality situation became very wet, very quickly. Wet, okay? It was raining really hard. Made my way back home and discovered I didn't have the key to the front gate. I'd mixed it up with the key to the letterbox, which was useless. Naturally, the situation required me to climb over the gate, which I did. There was no climbing down, because I slipped and landed on my ass. Reality was looking rather grim just then, me lying on my ass in a mud pit in the middle of a heavy shower. When life knocked me down, I always got up. So I made my way across the yard, standing in front of my apartment door, fumbling with my pockets, realizing I'd also forgotten my apartment key. You gotta be shitting me. I wish I were, Tequila. I wish I were. Instead of my apartment key, I'd taken the key to the office. So what happened next? I rang my neighbor's buzzers. It was late, and most of them didn't even answer. Those who did assumed I was trying to sell them something and hung up before I could even explain the situation. People are naturally wary of ad men, you see. One moment someone chats you up, 5 minutes later you bought a box of edible lingerie and a strap-on. I don't begrudge them, especially since I was known to be one of the best. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Just then I experienced a moment of clarity. I still had the key to my office. I could wait out the storm there. But when I reached my office, I remembered that I'd asked one of my producers to change the locks that day, and since I hired only the best, he'd already done it, and I couldn't get in. Anyway, long story short, life spiraled out of control. I haven't gotten into my apartment for years, and my girlfriend left me because she didn't want to date a homeless man. The company, well, you see where I'm going with this. So you've heard my tragic tale. What do you think? Like nothing you ever heard, huh? I feel like there are some steps missing. Tequila, I've thought about this series of events a long time. If there was anything else to it, I would have thought of it by now. Why didn't you go to the authorities? Well, at one point they came to me, you know. I didn't have any ID on me, so they tossed me in jail for 2 days. Can't say it increased my faith in the RCM. No offense, gentlemen. I literally can't believe me neither, Tequila. When I lost my keys, I lost more than access to my apartment. I lost my leverage over humanity. I wasn't a high-concept creative director anymore. I was just some homeless asshole with a premium sans-serif liquor tracksuit. You can't imagine what that does to a man's confidence. Anyway, that was all the story one bottle gets you. Almost empty, this one. Can I say this again? The story of your name? Okay, it goes through the whole thing. On second thought, I've heard enough. Why do you keep losing all your stuff? Good fucking question, Tequila. If I knew the answer, you think I'd be hanging out at a beach on this formerly premium but now extremely dirty 2-piece liquor tracksuit? I used to own my reality situation. My business buddies and I had our own creative services agency. I had a nice apartment, an even nicer piece of ass, but somehow it all got away from me. Now I can't hang on to anything. Just last week I stole this nice new jacket, but then I lost it too. The only things I haven't lost are these two drunks. You of all people should empathize with this. Perhaps this lost jacket is something you could help with. Verifiable tragedy. It was practically brand new. Sure, it didn't go with my liquor treads, but it did itch a lot less. Say, you're a detective, right? Maybe you can help out old Doom Spiral. Solve the case of the missing jacket. You're asking a police officer to help find a jacket you stole and then lost? Exactly. You're here to serve, right? If I knew where I lost it, don't you think I'd have it? Maybe I was up the boardwalk, or by the beach, or checking the abandoned fish market? It's a lot of places. Somewhere north of here, that's for sure. Ask around and see if anyone's seen it. What's up with the tracksuit? Never seen it before. I don't feel that primo material. It cannot be retried. I'll touch it. Oh. I've lost morale for succeeding? Good God, it's nearly impossible to describe how dirty this texture is. It's like rubbing two jellyfish skins together. You feel about 15% less human for having touched it. Randomized trials have also found liquor to be associated with a number of exotic, highly malignant cancers, so you also have that to look forward to. And then there's a smell, but you don't even want to think about that. Pretty nice, huh? This might be the last of its kind. Should be in a museum, honestly. You're lucky. He never lets me feel it. It's because your paws are fucking filthy, Rosie. We're right next to the bay. You could wash them anytime. You missed, man. You missed... You were gone for a while, right? You must have been. Yeah, you were gone when while talking to Titus, I failed another roll. And I had the option to ask Kim for his gun again. And he wouldn't give it to me. And it was a very, very, very funny moment. I was practically on the floor laughing. As I was like, I can't believe that they actually put in custom dialogue specifically for if you had already failed the authority roll and borrowed Kim's gun so you could put it in your mouth. And there's a spider dangling. Hang on.